Making a video. So it's been a couple of days since I've started this guy up. I'm doing a little test here. I'm gonna start a little bit of a starting issue. I'm hoping I haven't hurt the engine with my aggressive driving. Really don't drive all that aggressive all the time. Only occasionally do I roll coal. So what I'm experiencing is when I go to start it, and I've actually caught it on camera at one point, is that it'll start up alright, a little slow, and it'll chug for a little bit until all the smoke clears out of the exhaust, and then it runs fine. So you got blue and black freaking smoke coming out of the exhaust for about maybe 5 seconds, or not, 2 to 3 seconds, and then once it clears that up, it runs perfectly fine. So I'm not sure. I know my lift pump is leaking a tiny bit. It's moist. It's not dripping or pouring, but it's enough to where it could let air into the system and you know, maybe have it start weird. But I don't really think that's the issue because it. Yeah, well, it's just hard to tell. But someone mentioned that I might have dribbling injectors or leaking injectors. So if it sits a certain amount of time, it will start like this. But any other time, if you go to the grocery store, park it, and you're gone for an hour and come back and start it, it starts up perfectly fine. But my problem, or my suspicion is it just could have a lot of miles on the engine. And, you know, it could just be time for a rebuild or something. I don't know. Might need a head gasket. But I don't get steamy exhaust. I don't get steamy blow-by out of the tube down there by the oil pan. I do want to check the oil here in a sec and see if it smells like diesel. If it smells like diesel, then my injectors are dribbling. Another test to do would be to remove the exhaust manifold and pull the ignition wire, try and start it, and see if maybe some liquid diesel comes out of it. If it does that, then yeah, I would suspect lifter or injectors. So I got the fan off, I'm out of gear. Let's try this. I got smoke. Oh yeah, you know what? I think we got air in the system. Alright, let's try this. So what do you think? Leaking injectors, loss of compression, leaking fuel pump? I just primed it. So the last time I started like that was when I had air in the system. So, but now you hear it, and you'll know when it misses. I've seen a Cummins miss before. It's not consistent like this. So my plan is to do a lift pump. I've been wanting to do that since I got the engine. I've also been wanting to replace the injectors with an upgraded set. So I want to say that this is behaving like it's getting air in the system, so we're going to start with a lift pump, just get that out of the way, and then we'll let it sit for a couple days, and then go from there. If it starts up perfectly fine, then we're good. However, I'm still going to want to replace the injectors because I want to upgrade them to a newer set, and that way we have fresh. Not going to go crazy. I think I'm just going to get a 40 horse set. I've seen a set on eBay for like $300 to $400 bucks. So that and a turbo. So this is just one of those things when you convert a vehicle with a used engine, you know, you never know how long it's going to last. But when I get this thing fired up and it stops doing that, it runs perfectly fine. You know, I get plenty of power, loads of, you know, plenty of fuel economy. It's still being real consistent with that new fuel filter. That's another thing. I'm going to take the fuel filter off at a later time, probably when I have a day off. And I'm going to check the seals on that, make sure I didn't nick them or something, because that could be letting a small amount of air get in over a period of time. And I actually started seeing this after I did that maintenance. So that's one thing that we need to check. Now I'm going to shut this off, check the oil, smell it. If it smells just like normal diesel oil, then we're fine. If it smells like diesel, then I might want to throw a set of injectors in for sure. Flex is going to have a bunch of black smoke on it. And that amount of smoke's pretty normal for it. Just starting up. I can't back it out and drive it because I got my car behind it. So, and I'll shut it off, and then I'll go to, it starts up like super fast, no problem. So yeah, so we're gonna try lift pump first. I'm debating on whether I want to go to Napa to get one, or if I want to go straight to Cummins for a lift pump. I'm kind of on the fence on that one. So, yeah. So we're gonna try that, and then we're gonna look at injectors. You know, I might even, before blowing money on injectors, I might just take them out and send them off and have them inspected. And if it's not too much, maybe you just rebuild. Just rebuild them. The other thing I want to do is I want to get a compression tester tool, and I want to check the compression as another thing. In fact, I might even just do that here soon, so that we don't waste any more money on this engine. Because if we have to, we might have to do some cylinder head work, if that's what's causing our compression loss. So anyways, that's an update on my truck. Other than that, it's been doing pretty good. I did replace those bushings. I got my blue bushings in now. And I put my two-wheel drive spring perches back in, which, because the one on this side is thicker, the truck sits up on that corner 1/4 of an inch higher than this side. So I think what I'm going to do is find another two-wheel drive truck. I'm going to pull the driver's side puck, or whichever one's thicker, and I'm going to put it in this side, and I'll level it out, and it'll actually make it a little bit taller too. And I still got to do my rear end, but for right now I want to get this starting problem solved, because if it's getting air in the system and I crank it like that, I don't want to ruin this pump or even damage the injectors. I don't want to let a whole lot of air get in there. Now, I know someone had an issue where they put their fuel filter and they nicked the gasket somehow, and it was letting air in but not leaking fuel. So that's something I'm going to check. If that's the case, then I'll go get a new filter, and we'll be a little bit more gingerly about it. Get it gingerly. Now, let's check our oil. I don't have a rag with me. That's unfortunate. So what I'm going to have to do is just shake it off. Now it just smells like oil, but I want to see what the actual level is. If it's Okay, yeah. I'm gonna have to add maybe a bottle, but yeah, okay, yeah, we're good on the level there. Now the other thing is, there's a blow-by, not a blow-by, but that tube right there that lets all the crankcase ventilation stuff out. Now, when during engine warm-up, for maybe 10 minutes, I'll get a little bit of steam out of there, but after that, it goes away and it's not a solid stream. An engine, I've seen one like this on YouTube. You can find it. Basically, the head gasket was gone and it had all kinds of other issues. The 2 cylinders in the center were completely gone, no compression. And the guy had steam coming out, and even though the engine was warmed up, you'd throttle it, and it would just be like popping and stuff, backfiring like a gas engine. And there's not a whole lot of air that comes out of there, just a tiny bit, like if you were kind of blowing on someone's neck or something, like that much, not a whole lot, like just a light, you know, like that, just, you know, nothing be like, oh geez, you know. So, and oil comes out of it, so I know it's really not pumping out air. So I think bottom end wise of the engine, I think we're good. If anything, I would want to just maybe pull the top end and have everything rebuilt and put new injectors in it, or check to see if it has any cracks or whatnot. But so fuel system we need to check, and we need to do a compression check and see how she's doing, because I would hate to get a set of $300 injectors and or even more and still have the same problem, put a new fuel pump in, still doing the same thing. I'm leaning towards the fuel pump, that lift pump down there. So